Hello everyone. This is a new approach to organic learning. So for this approach I am giving the name retro organic learning. So normally what do? We learn all the reactions, we learn all the concepts and attempt questions based on those concepts that we have learned in the organic. But in spite of this, some people feel a little difficulty. They are not able to grasp the complete concept of the question, or we are not able to do some questions. So for this reason, I have designed a new approach which I am calling retro organic learning. Here we are going to do the opposite. That is, we are going to learn concepts based on the questions. This would be really helpful for people who have really learned some amount of organic already, or been through the concepts of organic but still not scoring marks. So what to do in this case? I have divided all the organic questions. See, whenever there are so many organic questions that are coming in the mains and advanced exam, so all the organic questions I have divided into certain types. So the types of the questions are of the following 13 types I have written here. So these types of questions are only going to come. Based on this, we have to adapt our learning. For example, the first type of question is based on number of isomers. So if you are able to do questions which are asked about number of isomers, fine. If not, generally what concepts should you concentrate on? You should concentrate on geometrical, optical and positional isomers. So look at the question which is based on number of isomers, do geometrical isomerism, do optical isomerism and do positional isomerism. So the types of the questions I have written in white color. What concepts to be learned for it I have written in purple color. So this is the new approach. So people who don't know where to start, where to end in organic, you can do in this way. Because any question that you see, if you see 20 questions in organic, 18 questions mostly will be among one of this type. So if you learn all these types, you know what type of questions to attempt, what type of concepts to build upon. Next, the second type is reagent based. That is, sometimes we add HCl, sometimes we add sodium in ethanol. So many reagents are there. So again, the reagents have marked separately. There are reagents that are frequently used. Suppose you are trying question, there is a reagent that is coming multiple times, that you put it under the category of frequently used reagents, and you have to learn all the functions of those reagents. Then moderately used reagents. In the end, if you have time, look at rarely used reagents. So by this, what is the advantage you are getting? If you are learning all the frequently used and moderately used reagents, you will answer most of the questions. Instead, people learn the entire concept and fail to answer question because they don't know one particular reagent. But if you learn all the frequently used questions, all the frequently used reagent, there is a better chance that you will do more number of questions. This is how you can improve the score. The third type of questions is mechanism based. So if you are not able to do a particular question, then maybe it is mechanism based. Analyze in that way. For isomer question, you don't need mechanism. For reagent based question, you directly don't need mechanism. For mechanism based question, you have to learn the following mechanisms: SN1, SN2, EAS, E1, E2, ring expansion and nitrine. Follow this order. So once you are done with the mechanisms of them, then go to the next set of mechanisms, which is SNI, E1CV and SNAR. So give preference to learning these which are in the first row. Then you will be able to answer majority of the questions. A question may be mixed, but you will be able to answer this one. So give preference to these mechanisms. The next type of questions are process based. That means you have to know certain process. Ozonolysis is a process where you break double bond. Then Hoffman elimination, Saytzeff elimination, Markovnikov and anti-Markovnikov addition. Some questions are based on the process, or part of the question might be based on the process. If you learn these processes independently, then you will answer a certain number of questions. See, everybody knows organic is not a straightforward question, it is a mixture of concepts. So what all concepts are involved, the more concepts you tick here, that is more types of questions you tick here, the better chance of scoring. So keep that in mind. Next is nomenclature based, which is IUPAC nomenclature. Simple naming, if you learn, that is better. Many other compounds which complex namings are there, you can learn them later. But give preference to the basic naming, that is simple naming. The next type is reaction based. So this is where you have to do lot of work. So in the reaction based, you have to learn all the functional groups. So step by step, you can finish off one functional group, move to the next functional group. Finish one functional group, move to the next functional group. So whenever you are attempting a question, you have to think in this pattern. Am I not getting the answer because I don't know the reagent? Or am I not getting the answer because I don't know the mechanism? Am I not getting the answer because I don't know the reaction? So if you don't know the reaction, it is just factual. You can learn it anytime. But if you know the mechanism and reagent, that gives a confidence that you can answer any question. New reaction you can learn anytime. In that instant itself you can learn that. So decide because of what reason you are not able to do question. It falls under which category. Finish off that category. So you have to learn reactions of all the functional groups: alkanes, alkenes, alkyl halides, alcohols, phenols, ethers, carbonyl compounds, that is aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acid derivatives, which is carboxylic acids plus esters, etc. Then nitro compounds and aromatic compounds. So step by step learn all the reactions. At least one functional group or half of the functional groups you try to finish off. Next comes questions based on acidic and basic order. So this is based on GOC. So this is a mandatory thing that you have to learn. You cannot ignore it. You may ignore this, you may build this gradually, but this one you have to learn. That is, you have to learn all the electronic effects: inductive effect, mesomeric, hyperconjugation, electromeric effect, etc. You have to learn about aromatic, non-aromatic compounds. These are the basics. A level up would be you learn about all the ortho effect, steric inhibition of resonance, steric inhibition of protonation, and all. These are the additional points. But at least you have to learn this much. This is going to be helpful in the other part also. The next thing is stability based question. That is, out of these compounds, which is more stable? Again, this is also based on GOC, resonance, etc. So which carbocation is stable, which carbanion is stable? All these are based on electronic effects, aromaticity, etc. So same concepts are applicable. So if you know these concepts, you will be able to do questions of this type and as well as this type. An additional level up would be radicals, learning about carbenes and nitrines also. The next category of questions is test based questions. That means some questions are, for example, aldehydes will give which test? Tolerance, Fehling's, etc. So those are test based questions. There are some tests which are distinguishing tests to distinguish aldehydes and ketones, to distinguish 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree alcohols like Victor Mayer test, etc. So those are only based on those tests. So my idea is, when a question comes, why did you not answer it? Is it test based? Then learn test. Is it reaction based? Then there is scope to learn the reaction. Is it mechanism based? Learn the mechanism. Is it stability based? Learn the GOC part. So you should know why you are not able to answer the question. Then you have to plug all the gaps that are there. The last one you can plug is knowing the reactions. You can learn all the reactions gradually, slowly. But the rest of the parts you try to finish off better. So there are some special tests like iodoform test. Only questions related to that you will be answering from iodoform test. Or different functional groups, there are one particular test. For example, for carboxylic acid, there is ester test. So if you learn that, only that particular question. It will not connect to many other topics. But these two will connect to many other topics. They can be added to any question. So they are to be learned mandatorily. Next is attack position based questions. That means there is a benzene ring, there is one group already present on it. Where is the incoming electrophile attacking? That is based on the types of the groups attached. That is, whether the group attached is electron withdrawing or electron donating groups, whether it is protection is there, how we are protecting and deprotecting, are any steric factors applicable. So keeping in this mind where the attack happens, those are the type of the question. For this you have to learn the EAS mechanism really well. The next type is identifying the starting ending products. For example, they give a question, A gives rise to B, B gives rise to C, C gives rise to D, so many reagents and all are there. So for such type of questions, again you are going to use a mixture of all of this. You should know the reaction, you should know the reagent, you should know the mechanism. So keeping all of them, you are going to write the starting and the ending product. That is, it includes reaction knowledge, it includes reagent knowledge. So these kind of questions you are going to attempt only once you finish knowing all of them individually, because they are mixed questions, not to be attempted immediately. Next, there are questions which are based on simple mechanism. For example, alkyl halide substitution reactions, whether AgCN will work or KCN will work. It's a simple mechanism based. Some reactions are deep mechanism based, which is Hoffman bromide reaction or Lawson-Curtius rearrangement, etc. So once you know those mechanisms, only then you can attempt. So the overall summary is all the questions will be of any of these types. If the question is a mixed type of all of them, then those kind of questions should be dealt later. First, which are direct of any of this type, if you know that type, suppose if you have grip on all the reactions, good to go. If you have grip only on the mechanisms, only mechanism based questions you have. So unless you do these basics, you won't move to the complex part of the questions. So try learning all the organic questions in this pattern, see which part is missing, focus on that part. So this way you'll plug all the gaps, you'll be able to score better in the organic part. So this is retro-organic learning, question-based learning. Initially, we are learning the concepts, then doing questions. Now I am telling each question is a what concept, and then based on it learn those concepts. Then you will be able to move quickly in the organic part. This would be a real right approach, especially before the mains or people who have not revised properly.